Hi everyone, it's Natalie here. Welcome. Sorry I have a cough drop because my throat is really scratchy and kind of just not quite right. I think spending the week, lots of dust, lots of moving stuff out of places where there was some mold and sawdust and pollen and mouse droppings covering. I mean, it was bad. There was a lot. And I did wear a mask a lot of the time, but not the whole time. So, needless to say, it was accomplished. It was accomplished, and I feel so much better for it. So I'm really, really grateful for that. This week, when I went to go pick the deck of the ones I have sitting out, the one that was just screaming at me, for whatever reason, this is going to be the Hieronymous Bosch. So we're going to Bosch it out with a tarot deck and a playing card deck. Wrong way up, Nat. There we go. I was upside down and backwards. So here we go. I'm going to use the same spread that I've been working with. So 3 cards. It's in the box below. All right. I held it together so well all week, and now that I'm done, I'm so tired. And, well, not even that tired. I feel really energized. I can just tell that there's some part of me that's, like, catching up. So, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and shuffle, and we'll move on. The first position is the card whose energy is going to be most present with us this week. So what's going to be most present with us this week? What energy? Ooh, look at that. The Grail Knight. So that is the moon. So hard to keep a straight face. Oh, well, here we are. That's the energy of the week this week. Okay. So, so there we are. That is 18. That would be the moon in an ordinary deck. The Grail Knight, is on a major quest, right? They're on a major quest for which they would be willing to risk their lives. Whether the success comes or not is kind of irrelevant. It's the pursuit. We can expect that as we go on a quest that it will bring up dark forces, right? So whatever it is that we're aiming towards this week, right, as a goal, the spirit or the energy that's going to be with us is the sense that we are moving toward our major purpose in life. I think that's fair to say. However, as we go toward that, what we're also contending with is all of the little monsters that we have inside of us that want to come up and eat us. So we get this analogy of the Grail. There's always a but. It's Hieronymous Bosch. What else can you expect? But what we will get is these monsters that want to come and eat our guts out, right? So something psychologically for us is, not unlike the moon, is going to come out of the darkness and out of the woodwork and ask to be seen, okay? The key is not to let it eat your guts out, right? To recognize that it's simply part of the journey. It's part of moving forward. And to kind of, we can kind of dance with it, right? We can dance with that energy, and we can avoid letting it, letting it eat our guts out. Remember what that purpose is, what the integrity behind it is, right? The Grail Knight is seeking the Grail, guarding the Grail, it's protecting the Grail. That's the power of our own integrity, of our own intentions, our own will, right? So be careful with your thoughts, be careful with your thinking. Don't allow difficult, dark things that come to mind to become the dominant feeling tone, right, around that particular aspiration. Okay. Now, the second card is going to be what we need to place as our primary focus. So where do we need to put the bulk of our energy, our intent, all of that sort of thing this week? Whoa, there we go, ignorance. Ignorance. So, well, that's great fun. Okay, so this would normally be the strength card. And we can see how that plays in here a little bit, but what we get in the meantime, and I think this is rather sweet. I do love this card, and I knew it would come up. When I was sitting here thinking, I want to read with the Hieronymous Bosch, this card was the one that I kept having in my head. So I'm really not at all surprised that this is the one that we're looking at right now. In truth. So the ignorance card is a special sort of card. You know, you can see here, we've got our lovely sort of monastic choir director there pointing at the book of music. And we've got this team of interesting sorts of folks there who are all attempting to sing something. And they're probably not singing it very well. And they're most likely not singing it together. I mean, we've got a dude over here trying to toot a horn who's not even reading the music. Not that that's always necessary, but you know, in terms of metaphor, you know. So it's like trying to put a bunch of cats in a basket, right? Or gather a bunch of cats in a basket. In the midst of all of this, here at the top, we've got this woman who's kind of doing the looking directly at the camera angle, right? Again, it's very ahead of its time in its own way. So she's there looking out at us like, can you believe this shit? Can you believe this shit? And, you know, she's got the wisdom, in this case, to keep her mouth shut. That wisdom is sort of being, the metaphor for it, of course, is the owl that's peering in. The guy at the back with the building on top of his head, he's not looking quite at us. He's sort of trying to look over the crowd to see what's happening, but he's still not completely there. So, you know, and this poor guy here leading them isn't aware that it's just a wasted effort. So there's like one person with that awareness. So I would say we may very well find ourselves in, you know, so in harmony with the Mo divination. So if you haven't seen the Mo divination yet, this week we've got this lovely friend again, okay, which is Tsapa, and it's empty of intelligence. Ooh, ignorance, and it's empty of intelligence. Ooh, what's that about? That's creepy. Fun times here on the Sanskrit Blue channel. So, or not, it may not be fun at all. Hey, what happened to all the light? There we go. Just trying to put this card back. It doesn't want to go into place. Yeah, it's, you know, this is empty of intelligence, this whole exchange. You know, we may find ourselves in many situations this week that are empty of intelligence, where the people around us make no sense, where they say and do things that are completely out of keeping with good with good rational thinking or reasonable thinking, you know, and in part, we're being called upon not to join in the fray. All right, to call upon our own inner wisdom in order to be able to recognize I'm in an untenable situation. I need to maintain my composure and remove myself if possible, but at the very least, don't contribute anything else to the noise. Right? So that is our main focus this week. So a lot of treading water for us this week, guys. There's a lot of stuff being kind of thrown up in the air, blown up in the air. And the key is really going to be just, it's okay. We can't make progress. So sometimes that happens. Mercury's in retrograde right now. It's okay. We just need to tread water. Maybe find this situation amusing if possible, because humor is always good. It makes us feel a little better. And it helps distance ourselves from anything that's really hard and difficult, right? I mean, even as my sister and I had arguments last week, we would laugh at each other and laugh at ourselves, because that really helped us stay together toward toward the focus we were working for. Thankfully, we were doing it last week and not this week. This week, it looks like there's a lot of conditions that are just unfavorable for any kind of collaboration. Okay, so where you find yourself in this situation, boot yourself back out. Have a laugh. There's nothing you can do, but it's probably not going to be harmful. And there is strength in recognizing I can't do anything here. There's nothing more I can contribute. I may as well, keep my mouth shut and move on. All right. Third card, what is it that we need to be mindful of in the coming week? The thing that we need to stay on top of. Ooh, there we go. What is it? We have 3 majors this week. These are all major arcana. Wow. So that's temperance. Paradise is temperance, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. It's temperance. I love that Travis McHenry calls it paradise. It's essentially looking around at where we are, recognizing that where we are is, in the present moment, is a place where we can find peace, where we can find balance, and where we can access, believe it or not, even in a really weird kind of way, we can access our own ability to find intelligence. We can, in the midst of ignorance, we have the ability to access almost, I would say, even though this isn't in this particular card, I'm still feeling that energy of temperance, but that almost alchemical ability to take 2 opposing ideas, water and fire, and find the way to blend them in a way that balance can be created while something is being transformed, right? So we may be suffering through a lot of stuff, but there is an ability to find balance, and it's something that we've got more control over than what we realize. So taking that space to listen to your better angels, right? And make choices that put you in a more empowered position is going to be very important this week, right? Especially if you're going to be dealing with this all week and it's the main focus. The main focus is don't get caught up in the ignorance. Be wise. Okay, be wise. Don't even try to direct it. That's where I would get in trouble. I might try to direct it. Be the lady at the back. Close your mouth. Back away. Slowly back away from the singers. Go get yourself a cup of tea. Because, the way that these are going to impact us, right, is because it's going to all come back to this idea, that we're somehow not serving our main purpose. But the truth is that we are, right? We are serving our main purpose. We're just facing a lot of obstacles. My guess would be, and we'll see what the other little cards have to say to us, the little playing cards. My guess would be that even though it feels like we're treading water, we have 3 majors here. And we may be starting with the Grail Knight, but we're ending with Temperance and Paradise, right? So we're ending with this, we can create within our own circumstances a sense of stability, a sense of calm. There is growth taking place within us on our path, in our lives. It just may not be immediately obvious, okay? Which is hard. It sucks, right? So let's look at the playing cards. And I'm feeling that right now because it sucks not. I'm a really vocal person. Like, using my voice is a big part of what I am and how I function in the world, and chanting and singing and speaking. And I think I practice a lot of magic through that chakra, and it's grumpy. So I gotta be nice to it, right? Okay. So here's our sweet. There's nothing sweet about this deck. Here's our playful Bosch Playing Card deck. Let's see what it wants to say. Okay, so first we're going to ask for a little bit more commentary on our Grail Knight. So what would you like to tell us about the Grail Knight, please? We have the 10 of Hearts. And one of them is lodged in a little, a little chicken guy there at the bottom. Yeah, it sure is. And it's kind of coming out of its body cavity thing. Good stuff, always good stuff with this particular artist and his, his stuff. Okay, all right. So here it is, and here's this guy. See any similarities there? I do. Something coming out of a body cavity, which is not to be or going through a body cavity, as in the case. Oops, in the case of this poor guy up here, he's naked as well. Yeah, thankfully nothing coming out of the butt of the other guy. But what this tells me, it is still the 10 of Hearts, guys. It is still the 10 of Hearts. So while things may seem like, there's a lot of difficulty coming up, it's the moon, ultimately. The illusions are going to be everywhere. The illusions are everywhere. We are a lot fuller and more capable than what we think we are. So if it does start to wear on you, just remember that. It will wear on you, but it's at the bottom of the picture, right? The bigger picture is one of green, beautiful landscape. There's plenty of love, plenty of hearts to go around, and even here it looks like maybe it's even emerging from that chicken. Maybe that chicken is, offering its heart. We don't know. But perspective may be part of what we need to look into. Right? Perspective, how we view things. This is, with it being the Grail Knight kind of combined with the moon, it's going to feel personal. It's going to feel personal. But with all of those hearts there, right, which would be like the 10 of Cups in a way, it's really not that personal. It's really not that personal. So get some perspective. Get some perspective. That's where we have that Paradise card, right? The Paradise card is telling us be mindful of your perspective. All right. Now, second card here. We need a commentary on ignorance, please. Is my card deck right side up? I can't even tell sometimes with these little guys. Well, we'll find out. All right. So, commentary on ignorance. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Again, another cup card or another heart card, right? It's the 4 of Hearts. Look at that beautiful, wide open mermaid heart. Okay. There's balance in this 4 of Cups. There's plenty. There's plenty of what we need. There's balance, there's stability. I'm not thinking of this cup in terms of a Rider-Waite Smith. They're the arms, I'm not, because when we see this mermaid sort of character, their arms are open wide. Their heart is what's so big and open and full of love. Okay, so as you back away from it reminds me of the humor, right? Humor opens the heart. Laughter opens the heart. It makes us full, and it gives us everything we need. So when you find yourself in these situations, know that your own wisdom is growing. Open your heart a little bit. If first of all, open it for yourself. So if it's starting to make you cranky, remember, there's nothing you can contribute that is going to be of use when you find yourself in this situation, right? The best thing you can do, shut your trap. Realize there's nothing you can do, right? But again, it is the Strength card or the Justice card. And I think in this deck, he wants it to be the Strength card. Strength is always about courage. It's always about the heart, and it's always about open-heartedness. So having that open, loving heart is going to make this situation potentially endearing. It could open up possibilities for you to see people in a different light than what you did before. So we could also say, in your wisdom, transform this idea of ignorance into having a beginner's mind so that you can see the people involved from a new place. It may give you more of an ability to accept and understand the situation you're in than you might have had otherwise. Okay, so finally, we want to get a commentary on Paradise. So what would you like to tell us about the Paradise card, please? Another thing I love about these decks is I never know how I'm going to end up reading them because they're such wild, literally wild cards. Okay, well, it's a butt card. Look at that. That's probably a butt that's being put through. Again, more hearts. And I did shuffle them. I always shuffle cards 9 times. So they had 9 full shuffles, 3 riffle and 6 overhand. So this is interesting. But, you know, again, we've got more of a balance here. It reminds me a little bit, you know, we've got the 3 characters here, you know, or in a traditional temperance card, we'd have the 2, you know, the 2 cups. This is reminding me of the 2 of cups just a little bit, despite the butt. You know, I could say here, you know, things may feel like they are a bit of a pain in the ass. And it's really not that big of a deal. You know, things are the way they're supposed to be. You're still in the middle of a green pasture. Everything's beautiful. You know, you have everything that you need. What does that look like? That's interesting, but it doesn't quite work. It's a very odd, it's an odd card. I'll have to go back and look at the whole puzzle to see how that fits in. But, you know, what I'm getting here too is simply is, you know, where there, okay, so where there are relationships, okay, be aware, especially in one-on-one interactions and in our relationships. So in our relationships, it may feel like somebody's giving you, is kind of stabbing you through the heart. They're talking out of their ass. They're talking out of their ass. They don't know that what they're saying is potentially painful. And, you know, if they were in their right mind and they were, you know, if they had covered their ass, see here, there's a nice little metaphor, they probably wouldn't have said it. If they were thinking correctly, you know, and it comes back to this guy, right? Comes back to this guy. We're going to feel a little bit emotionally exposed this week, guys. There's no doubt. But please keep in mind, the person that's saying and doing this has no idea that what they've just said or done was hurtful. I guarantee it, right? So as, you know, be mindful of not taking things the wrong way, okay? Notice when somebody is talking out of their ass, let it go. If you can let it go, let it go. Point it out, laugh about it, but it might be best, like the woman in the picture, just, you know, you just keep your trap shut, back away slowly, back away slowly. Do so with love and with an open heart. I think we've got pretty much everything here that needs to be said, but in short, you know, to summarize, that Grail night is going to leave us feeling a bit raw and a bit like our higher purpose is not being fulfilled. A lot of anxieties and things are going to be eating away at us about whether we're doing the right thing, whether we're moving forward the right way. You know, we'll call into question what our purpose is, what our integrity, you know, whether our integrity is in focus and all of those sorts of things. The important thing here is to remember that we have everything we need. We are on task. We are moving the way we're supposed to. You know, life is a lot more full and complete than we ever expected. But as a 10 is ultimately a completion and a moving on to the next phase, something I didn't think of till just now. It may feel uncomfortable. It may feel a little uncomfortable, but we are making that growth. There's tremendous growth. It can't not be growth. We pulled 3 cards and every one of them came out as a major, right? So part of why we're going to feel like that, like we're not getting anywhere, is because we're surrounded by ignorance. We're surrounded by idiots. Okay, it's a tale told by an idiot. In this case, it's a tale told by a team of idiots, all trying to go off the same playbook, but having no idea how to read the music, no idea how to harmonize. It's a little bit of a disaster. Be wise, back away, okay, and do so with an open heart. If you can approach any of these situations that are like this week with an open heart, this won't be a bad week. It'll just be a week of treading water and kind of mild frustration. But there's tremendous growth and potential that lies underneath it. The way that we handle it is key. So finally, what do we need to be mindful or aware of? Paradise. We already have it. We already have it within us. We have it in the form of guardian angels that are looking over us all the time. We all have one. At the least, we have one. But, remembering that, keeping our balance, remembering that we're being tempered, and that the process of being tempered may not feel like paradise at every moment, but it will eventually lead to that on some level. And by keeping our balance and choosing to keep a balance, especially when people say something dumb, ignorant, just that they've literally pulled from their butt. It may hurt. It may be uncomfortable. If you can let it go and walk away from it, or find the moment in there to connect, which is still possible. Not going to be easy. Maybe a lot of work. It could be better to back out, but you're being called upon to exercise your own discernment about that. So discern what you need to do and what the best action is, and trust. You can trust yourself. You really can, to find the balance, to find what's appropriate. Okay, so that's it. All right, with that, I'm going to make myself a cup of tea, because even though it's hot, I'm like, it's all a little bit tight in there. So a little self-compassion for the old throat, eh? All right, friends, I wish you a wonderful week despite the stinky conditions. Hopefully the butt that's in your face is going to not release a big fart. Maybe there's that. Okay. It's the Bosch Tarot. You got it, right? All right. See you next time. Take care. Bye.